game to say the least. There's the Husker ban coming out. Fair enough. I highly doubted that was going to come out of Lotac anyway, but you never really know. You don't want to. You don't want to go up against the. Nobody wants to go up against the Husker. Now,
Definitely not, Mike.
oh, hello, Monkey King will be the final pick. So I like this. I mean, this Tigers draft looks very strong right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's definitely their strongest draft I've seen so far. I'd have to agree with you. The Monkey King just adds so much, to their damage, to their scalability, and to their team fight. It's going to be really potent here. You have the Earthshaker, you have the Kunkka, and you have the Monkey King for huge crowd control. You have the saving grace from Oracle, the constant heals, and constant damage from the Necrophos as well. It's going to be a hard time for Lotac to really go up against this.
Lotac, what's the final pick here? What can they do to turn this around? Because this doesn't look great for them. I've got to say, like it looks very scary. Like the one saving grace is the Brewmaster's there to make the Monkey King miss. And
Oh,
I see.
okay.
Okay, now, John, we haven't seen Lotac play this before. In fact, throughout the whole qualifiers we've casted, we haven't seen an Arc Warden come out yet. It's one of those cheesy picks that comes out last. And honestly, most of the time I've seen it, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work out. So, how do you feel about this?
I'm not sure. I feel like it doesn't solve the issues that their draft has. The potency is there. If Raven can get a really good start in the Arc Warden, he can snowball really hard. But until then, I am he's gonna have to try to get ahead. He needs a farm advantage, and then he needs to force, shove out lanes, find some pickoffs, and really make things happen. Because there is no late game for Lotac. There's no late game here. They do not scale well. The Tiny stop scaling after a certain point. The Arc Warden as well stops scaling after a certain point, whereas Tigers has the Monkey King for late. The Necrophos does stay relevant late game, and Kunkka doesn't scale too well, but I feel like it turns into more of a utility core. The boat buff will always be relevant into that late game, and if it goes late enough, you can just go Divine Rapiers.
Well, let's see how this game turns out. It's going to be a good one, guys. The third game, again, the loser will go home, and their dreams of attending the Kuala Lumpur Major will be over. And for the winner, well, they'll have to play more games later on.
Breathe it in. Well, this'll work.
Oh, high over that Team Spirit, Mike.
Breathe it in.
I was gonna say in your dream on that Conquer again, John. He played a fantastic Conquer last game. This game round doesn't look to be as easy of a game for him, but like in terms of draft. But I mean, that Conquer is still gonna be scary in conjunction with that Oracle Necro. How does anyone die on the side of the Radiant?
Yeah, exactly my point earlier on. It's gonna be really hard for Lotac to really burst someone down. I think this mid lane matchup between Kunkka and Tiny should favor the Kunkka overall. Granted, Tiny can pump out some harass as well when he has his tree throw up. Those right clicks will kind of annoy the Kunkka, but as it goes on, I think the Kunkka's Tidebringer spam is a bit more painful compared to, depending on tree grab, because that's on a cooldown. You have charges when you hit, whereas Kunkka's is just always at max level. Maybe in the laning phase, level 3, 7-second cooldown can lay down a fairly respectable amount of damage. Just have to watch out being in range of that cleave from Tiny. Otherwise, you're fine, I think, in this matchup.
Shocking indeed.
BFF forever, Mike.
Well, who's he referring to? Oh, must be Raven.
Yep,
That's so Raven.
you're best friends, Mike. That's right. You're gonna get his copy stricken,
Am I?
maybe.
Brings back some memories, doesn't it?
Really does, Mike. Good show. Very good show. Grew up with it.
Raven. Gonna say hello to Moon Meander. He'll just heal through it.
30 seconds to battle.
Ayo.
Yeah. like the top lane, they will be forced to back off on the side of Tigers. Meanwhile, Ohio going to get harassed a bit as well. He will have some help coming in from AU now, but not much he can really do with that level 1 role. Definitely needs at least the boulder smash to make something happen. And on 4-3-7, hold him in place, but that means Ohio can just stand there and take the bounty rune, so he's going to be fine with that. And AU will back off, and it looks like for the first time in this best of 3, Lotac will start off with the bounty rune advantage.
Yeah, that is the first time, and you know, good for them. They managed to get themselves a nice little gold boost in the early game. We'll see if that helps them out. That should help them out. I mean, they've been starting with just 1 bounty rune past 2 games, so having that 2 extra runes should make their lane phase much easier. Perhaps help Chuan in the mid.
Chuan. I mean, he had a really nice laning phase with that Necro before, but this time around, the Tiny, we'll have to keep an eye out and see how he does do against In Your Dream. It's certainly going to be a harder ask of him against that Kunkka with the Tiny. The Tidebringer, just such a painful ability you have to go up against, especially once it's at that level 3 mark. It just hurts so much.
Yeah, it definitely does. The lane matchup, oh, set for a nice fissure.
They are going to go for Yamate, it seems. I can't see them getting this kill. Those creeps actually blocking them off. Raven will also help out in doing so. And now they've got a nice creep wave coming in. The Moon Meander will not let go with this harassment. He just keeps going. Zephyr, meanwhile, goes behind the tier 1 tower. They might want to dive this. Zephyr only has the level 1 Fissure available. He will commit it. And actually, Yamate is stuck now. He fairy fires up and just TPs right in front of him. Yamate actually goes back to the tier 2 tower.
Dire's top tower is under
I
attack.
thought it may have been a slight mistake that he opted to go there instead of the fountain, but he does have a couple more tangos, and I suppose he'll just stick around until he's really required to go home, or he'll just kill himself again, as he's been doing the past couple games, just to get back to the fountain and revive quicker.
Yeah, I think that's a sensible play. Again, just maximize your regen, maximize that time you stay in lane so you can get some XP going and apply the harass you need to apply to the enemy. And I think that's fine. Raven's not having too bad of a time, although Moon Meander is definitely pulling ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's one of those games, it's just, we've talked about it already, but how do you kill this Necro? It just, we're going to find out later on, but it just seems like it's going to be very, very difficult. And especially if they start falling behind on this Arc Warden as well. It's just seemingly going to be impossible. A lot of the team fight is going to be up to Ohio on that Brewmaster to ensure that he gets those the Cyclones up on maybe the Necro or the Monkey King. And really tries to create havoc within these team fights because he's going to need to do that, like, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the team fights are going to hang off of Ohio just jumping in, starting with that split, and then the global sounds coming out as well.
Ajit going after AU. The Boulder Smash was there, but now the Boundless Strike, and AU, he will heal through it. Purifying Flames almost getting him dead, and Ohio now trying to deal out some harassment. Things are getting heated, but we are still at 0-0. Almost 4 minutes in. Looks like In Your Dream has started to take over the mid lane a bit. He has pulled ahead in the last hits. And Chuan, it is hard to keep up again. It is a Kunkka with Tidebringer. It is at that level 2 mark, and it's really just feels impossible to beat In Your Dream with this kind of hero.
Yeah, definitely. So again, after that initial rocky start where, you know, Tiny's actually just a bit stronger, once you get a few levels of your own, you can kind of sustain this lane a bit better.
Zephyr.
He is in lead.
Top lane in a lot of trouble. The last word is there, and Zephyr will go down. Yamate will pick up the first blood. And he does manage to get a nice little bit of int for himself as well to boot. So, nice start for the side of Lotac at the top lane.
Definitely is. Just a bit unfortunate that, Yamate is, well, he just hit level 3. A while ago, he was stuck at level 2 for quite a fair bit, but manages to get his level 3, so the harass coming out with Arcane Curse should be better now. And they do have AO up top, so I think they're just going to apply pressure to Mu now.
Well, what's more
Possibly.
unfortunate is he just placed an Observer Ward right under the sentry of Tigers. So that's just going to get dewarded immediately. It's pretty upsetting because he did have a sentry down, but it hasn't caught the one that that Zephyr's been placing. And with that, I wonder how long it's going to take for Zephyr to realize it's there, but I'm sure he'll walk past it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, at some point they're going to have to walk down that ramp. But I feel like this ward might just do enough work before then. Who knows?
Well, AU is rotating, so perhaps so. Can you really find anyone here, though? Again, Moon Meander feels impossible to kill already. And to make matters worse, now 1437 showed up. AU just going to roll his way up. But no, the Fisher is very, very nice indeed. He isn't stuck per se, but the damage should be enough. And it is. 1437 with the Purifying Flames gets the job done. Again, a quick
And
Fisher
here's
coming out. I'm sorry, you were saying and...
Here's the D ward. There you go.
1437 takes it. We'll be able to finally afford those brown boots on that Oracle. Bot lane, they do roll in, but Arjit will actually completely dodge the roll. And actually Raven, top lane, manages to find Moon Meander of all people. Now 1437 being chased down. Do they have the toss back? They do in just a moment, and in fact they'll just toss him up. 1437 will end up dropping. I didn't quite catch how they managed to kill him off.
Probably just with a rotation from Chuan.
Radiant's top
I mean,
tower
we've been
is
seeing
under
this from these two mids. Usually it's in your dream doing the rotation first, but Chuan at level 7 felt like he wasn't really doing too much besides trade farm now with in your dream, so he does a rotation up top, which I think is really crucial.
See AU on that Earth Spirit. I mean, we were shocked when he was, it was drafted throughout the drafting stage, but, it's one of those things with the Earth Spirit in this meta. It's a lot harder to have a lot of influence throughout this early to mid game. Like, you really need those levels to become, some sort of real hero. As it stands right now, like, he's got the level 2 boulder smash, but that's really, like, he's not able to get much done. Ohio. He's getting harassed a bit. Roll in. Will not connect on anyone. It's probably just to try and scare them off a bit. Ohio will just salve up and get out of there safely.
Yeah, Ohio's not having the greatest time in this lane again. 26-1 compared to Monkey King's 45-16. Still level 5, just turned level 5, and not the greatest progression for him. Objit is now level 6. And, it's not a good spot to be in as a Brewmaster. Definitely want to keep parity at least, but he's been under a lot of pressure.
There is a smoke as well top lane. Lotac going quite far around. There's a double damage. In fact, no, it's a clarity. Chuan. They want Moon Meander again. They've set up for it. The avalanche toss is there. And Moon just disappears. It goes back to what you said about the Tiny against the Necro. That Ghost Shroud just amplifies all that damage.
under attack.
The Necro just absolutely has really no chance if he's left alone like that. Now mid lane. Now going into In Your Dream. Chuan doing a bit of damage, but once that boat comes in, the Rum buff just way too much. It's really way too defensive of a buff to continue chasing Your Dream afterwards.
Yeah, it's really the silly thing about Kunkka. His ultimate is just so good. That ghost ship is just way too good. Max level 40-second cooldown for such a strong buff. And a good stun, if you can land it. It's really potent.
We haven't talked about Arjit too much, but he is at the top of the net worth right now on that Monkey King. He's been having a pretty good game, and he's going to jump in on Ohio. Mind you, AU is there, and Ohio looks like he wants to have a go. He does have that split available now. He does not try to commit it. It's one of those other things about the Monkey King. It's just such a pesky hero to try and get down, because he just jumps through the damn trees, and you can't really find him. So Ohio, got to be careful not to waste this split. Surprisingly enough, we don't see any rotation from Ohio either. Like, again, he hits that level 6 mark, but he seems to really prioritize getting that blink before he moves out of this lane at all.
Yeah, I think that's a tendency Ohio takes. I've never seen him rotate out without the blink. So he just stays in that farm, tries to annoy the safe laner, but also try to farm up a decent timing with his blink. Right now, it's probably one of his slower timings. Past 10 minutes only phase boots, but he's not had a good time in this lane. He even has some Midas queued up. I'm not sure about that one, Mike.
Yeah, that's a bit greedy, I think. I don't know if he'll go for it, but look, we've seen that a lot over the past couple days, John. Like, these Brewmasters do seem to be getting Midases. Actually, Zephyr gets caught out. Chuan will pick up another nice kill with that Haste Rune. While all that's happening, the tier 1 top does go down. In Your Dream actually rotating up to make that happen. And now they'll go for the tier 1 bot tower. Question is, will Tigers be there to try and defend this? As it stands, apparently not. Ohio, he will stand behind those trees. He does have the split available again, so it's definitely not the right time to try to engage on Lotac. In Your Dream, though. Gonna take out half the tier 2 towers HP at the top lane.
And he does have that siege creep as well, doing a lot of work. Really dropping that tier 2 very fast. Ooh, down to 500 HP.
They can't take a team fight, so just take another tower. Why the hell not? In fact, they might go for Ohio.
Well.
They are taking mid lane. So Tiger doing a very similar thing to game 2, where they just start to take that map control early on. And again, Ohio just uninterested in trying to engage until that blink is up. He's very close to it as well, so it makes perfect sense for him not to. Chuan mid lane will jump onto Arjit. Can they take him down though? He's so low, the roll actually cancelled off, and now Arjit actually salves through it. He'll just walk out of there scot-free, and I don't know how the hell he managed that. Now the split,
no.
who are they going for? 1437 will end up dropping. Meanwhile, top lane, the Silencer in massive trouble. Yamate trying to make a run, but In Your Dream says, no, you're not getting away this time. He does take him out. But my god, Arjit, like, that roll was cancelled off by Zephyr's Fisher, and then he somehow salves through it all, and nobody ends up cancelling it. It's fantastic.
I'm not sure if AO was already 6 by then, right? He didn't commit the Magnetize. He had time for it right before that fissure. Didn't commit. I think that might have been a mistake. Maybe he was out of mana. I didn't quite see. But if he had Magnetize out, I think that might have been a kill.
Almost certainly. It's going to be a bit of engagement here. Ohio, he does not have that split available though.
Ohio actually did go for that Midas first.
Ooh.
So, if he doesn't join fights without that blink, he's not going to be joining for the next few minutes as well.
Was that the right decision to go for the Midas?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I guess they're going to depend on Chuan really to make these plays. He does have his own blink up, so if there's going to be a playmaker for a while, it's going to be Chuan.
Ohio probably realizing he needs to transition to a very farmed kind of core later on to contest this draft, and with that Midas, I suppose if the game goes long enough, he'll be able to do that. And you can already see he queues up that Radiance after the Blink Dagger, so it's probably why he went for the Midas early on, just to be able to ensure he can get that Radiance in a somewhat efficient manner. Chuan. Smoke up from Tigers. They may run into him. And it looks like they will. Zephyr waiting for the right moment. He does fissure out, but it was a bit early. They don't get the X off either. now the Global Silence coming out. It's top lane. They've actually found Arjit. A nice pickup from them
Tower is under
on the
attack.
side of Lotac, and they're going to go after this tier 1 top tower now, but an immediate defense coming out from In Your Dream.
Yeah, that's a nice clean pickoff on Ajit. Sure, they commit the Global Silence. I don't think they should be forcing big team fights anyway, so just finding that single pickoff is significant. And Zephyr steps out a bit too far.
Yeah, and he might just end up dropping, though. In the back lines, there's another team fight going on. 1437, the man in trouble right now. They do end up taking care of Zephyr. Meanwhile, Boat comes in. No, it really hits nobody. It was just the remnant of Raven. And now, that'll be pretty much it. After all that, everyone just backs off, and Zephyr is the only one that loses his life.
Yeah. It's a good clean 2 pickoffs again for Lotac. As I mentioned, if they're not looking to force these big 5v5 team fights, just going for those single pickoffs with the Global Silence is fine enough, fair enough. And, you know, they just need to really slow down the Monkey King, get their own cores growing, get Raven bigger than ever. And he is growing bigger slowly but surely. Necro 1 now up on Raven.
I love that Necro build on the Arc Wardens. It's just so frustrating to go up against. Of course, once you've got the Necro 3s up with the double Remnant, I mean, the amount of push you provide is just stupid. It's ridiculous. They haven't got,
Definitely is.
I mean, they haven't got the greatest wave clear for it either. I guess you've got In Your Dream, you've got the Earthshaker as well. But he will have to be careful with that Tidehunter not to take out the 2 minions that actually give damage back. Otherwise, he might end up making a few mistakes with that.
Yeah, you also have the Monkey King once he does get that Battle Fury up, which is fairly soon, not too far away for Ajit. And once he has that up, he can kind of push the waves back as well.
Bot lane, action going on. Zephyr will get jumped on, and Chuan, of course, is there. They will commit the Global Silence just so there's no rotation to help Zephyr out.
Is under attack.
They seem very comfortable with throwing out these Global Silences early on, just to ensure that they can find these little pickoffs. And, you know, I guess it's well worth it, because they do just want to farm up right now on the side of Lotac. They definitely don't want to have to engage on any big team fights if they don't have to.
Yeah, definitely so. I think one thing Tigers should really play around is the fact that when Global Silence is expended, they can take a team fight. I'm not sure why they hesitate a lot, because GS is down. That's basically most of Lotac's global AoE. But their best, you know, CC right now is from that. If you can get the jump on Chuan, if you can get the jump on AU, you can basically wipe them and then take a team fight. Like take the rest of the team fight just fine.
Lane. Mumienda in trouble again, though. They won't make the jump. In Your Dream, top lane, going after AU. He does X him up. The Boulder Smash is there. AU even silences as well. Can he get out of this? Probably not. The roll is actually blocked off, and now AU almost gets out, but they might find In Your Dream in return. The boat buff is coming in Your Dream. Can he really survive this? They've got 1437 in the air right now. There's the false promise. He's keeping him alive throughout all this, but Ohio does not want to let this go. Again, the Cyclone is there. 1437 will end up dropping. And now that Chuan's here, I don't see In Your Dream getting out of this one. He ends up dropping, and they get an Earth Spirit, but they lose 2 of their own heroes, one of them being their Kunkka mid. Definitely not a worthwhile trade for the side of Tigers.
Yeah, it's definitely not worthwhile, as you mentioned. 311 now, going the way of Lotac, and they've been playing really well. I mean, they've been forcing these fights even without the Global Silence. They managed to find the pickoffs. The Brewmaster is definitely doing a lot of work. As I mentioned, you know, when that split is up, if you see someone who has False Promise, just spin him up, and, you know, they're not going to do anything with that False Promise. They'll just come back down. The rest of their team is dead, and you clean them up
Radiant's
after.
middle tower is under attack.
Zephyr. He just picked up his Blink Dagger, John. Now, this is that point where, I mean, it's a late Blink Dagger. We do see Earthshakers managing to get it prior, like, sub 15 minutes these days, but You know, Zephyr, he's had a bit of a rough time. He's died 4 times this game with no kills. But now that he has that blink up, we can expect to see some kind of rotation, I'm sure, from Tigers to, you know, essentially have a surprise reveal of the blink. And here we go. They do smoke up. 1437 and Zephyr together. Unfortunately, though, the side of Lotac not really alone. In fact, they've smoked up as well. A smoke-on-smoke action, and Moon Meander is going to be the target. They jump in immediately. Is there going to be a nice echo, though, to come in? It is okay, but it's not great. The damage really isn't there, and Yamate will walk out of there safely, and now Zephyr's dropped. Moon Meander's gone as well, and 1437, he kind of walked into the middle of all this. Ohio makes the chase. There's the stomp. In Your Dream throws the boat out. The false promise already used, and now Ajit from the high ground throws the Wukong's command on Ohio. He will end up dropping, so they'll find a return kill. Mind you though, Moon Meander using the buyback throughout all this as well, and they weren't able to capitalize, so still another massive win for Lotac if you really consider that. Not to mention all the kills that occurred.
Yeah, they forced the buyback out from Moon, as you mentioned, which is nice. Moon's itemization, actually, I have to point out, is strange. He has 2 vitality boosters. He's rushing hard. I don't think that's what you see most Nikafos players rush, Mike. Usually you see Blink, maybe a Yules,
He really doesn't want
maybe
to
a
die,
Reagan. Yeah, I mean, I can get why. It's still really strange. And Yamate is now on a killing spree, Mike.
Yeah, apparently he finds Ajit at the bot lane, or in the mid lane, I should say. And I didn't quite catch that, my apologies, but it looks like Chuan was just there with the avalanche toss. This is a problem for Ajit. You know, he's got that Battle Fury. He's got the Echo Saber as well, but he needs that time to farm up. They keep picking him off, and now 1437 going to be the next target. They pick him off. Moon Meander, he just brought back from the last team fight, and they commit the split for this, and he's all alone. Lotac showing up for game 3. In Your Dream, in fact, no, it's Zephyr pushing out that top lane, trying to force them back. In fact, they found In Your Dream as well with that Cyclone. And he is dead. 1437. No, the boat comes in. In Your Dream still running the false promise. Makes it in time as well. 1437 saving the day for the moment. Will he actually survive throughout all this? He will. The armor toggle was very nice from him. And he barely makes it out alive. I thought he was 100% dead there, but 1437 just in the nick of time. Again, though, I believe he did have to buy back for that. So perhaps you could still call that a little win for Lotac, considering they got Moon Meander as well in the Necro.
Yeah, that was a dieback, so catching Moon Meander back out was, I guess, pretty good. Again, the issue I'm facing with Lotac right now is that all these kills aren't translating to objectives just yet, Mike. So they're finding kills, they're really not changing map control at all, which is, it's going to be concerning if they still can't find objectives in the next 5 minutes. Tigers is smoked up now, and maybe after they find a pickoff, they can start sieging high ground up top or take out the last mid tower.
Yeah, they're going to have a go here. Now, top lane, Chuan is there. That is a big pickoff to grab, and smoke's broken. Chuan, a quick blink out as well. I'm not sure if he has wards around the area. In fact, he does. He had an observer ward behind the tree. Chuan is completely out of there. And that's going to be really unfortunate for the side of Tigers. It's one of, like, that tiny kill is pretty much what they needed. Now, AU, mid lane, in trouble. The boat will end up connecting, and the Reaper Scythe. Now, Fisher, they will get Yamate as well. Can they catch up? In Your Dream, dancing around at the moment. And that's it, they'll back off. At the very least, they get the Earth Spirit. And you see them again. They're pinging out Chuan. The Observer Ward they just placed has been dewarded as well by Chuan, so... I mean, just... The events that are turning out are very unfortunate for Tigers.
Yeah, it's falling apart quite a fair bit, and now the scan picks them out as well in that Roche pit.
Can they make it in time?
Because it's fairly slow.
Buyback. AU gets there. The Roche is very, very low. Can they actually get in there? The Wukong's command. It comes out. AU with the 3-man boulder smash. And now the Aegis is snagged by AU. Chuan is going to rip them apart throughout all this. Ohio with the split as well. The boat's there, but Zephyr comes in with the Echo Slam. Oh my, he tries to turn it around. It's not going to be enough. He goes down. A full team wipe comes out. In your dream, he brought back throughout all that, John, but he can't get there in time. What a Roche fight coming out from either team. And now Ohio, he feels the momentum. He wants to go for more. They found him in your dream. Will he die back throughout all this? AU rolling in slowly but surely. In your dream, it's not the time to dance, good sir, but he's going to do it anyway. He's trying to juke them out here. He's still dancing in front of him, John, but it's not going to be enough. In your dream, Armlet talking throughout all this. Can he actually avoid this? He's actually going quite well for the moment. In your dream, wasting a lot of time, but he will end up falling to Ohio.
That's a dieback.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That is, John, they lost the Aegis. They got team wiped. And they died back on In Your Dream. I mean, it really doesn't get much worse than that.
It definitely doesn't. Definitely doesn't. It's really unfortunate for Tigers, and you know, they lose Zephyr as well. I mean, they're just going in one by one now. It's really concerning.
Pace of the game really starting to speed up.
Yeah, sorry about that, Mike. I'm trying to slow down chat, but it was getting a bit out of hand, guys. Guys, please, you know, just slow down a bit. I don't want to have to click that ban button, but I will if you keep, you know, keeping up, because some people just do want to watch the Dota without too much of the madness.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely prefer penises not being spammed in chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're into that, that's fine in your own time. Not don't take it to public.
Yeah.
You know, find a corner for yourself and watch that stuff there. That's all fine and dandy. Some of us are here for some good Dota, which is happening right now, Mike.
It is
6-23 for Lotac.
Yeah. And things are getting heated. I mean, it's 6-23, but you saw these team fights. They're more even than you assume. Zephyr almost pushed it back their way in that team fight, but it was just a bit too damn late. It's just about the timing. He needs to... I don't know. I say he needs to time it better, but it really was as close as you can get. Like, I can't say it as if, you know, anyone else would have done a better job than Zephyr did in that team fight. It was just really unfortunate how behind they are right now on the side of Tigers.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, you know, that Roche fight, we saw the power of Earth Spirit again, Mike. I mean, look what AU actually has. He's level 12 at 27 minutes in. He only has an Urn, a Wand, and Tranquil Boots, and he caused that Roche fight to fall apart for Tigers. Simply jumping in, you know, getting that beautiful stun and grabbing the Aegis. All with basically no items.
That is one of the strengths about the Earth Spirit, though, isn't it? Like, no matter how much you nerf him, he's able to do those special things, like snagging the Aegis. And I mean, the 3-man boulder smash that came out was just absolutely fantastic. Anyway, though, BKB coming out from the Monkey King. So Arjit going to be able to farm, or I should say fight, a lot more effectively with that 10-second BKB charge. Mind you, though, he just got that, and it looks like Lotac smoke up immediately. They want to try to make something happen. Now, they haven't seen this BKB yet, so this could be a bad idea for them. But they are 11k net worth lead ahead. 1437. Didn't actually manage to cancel the smoke off. They don't find anyone. Arjit.
In Your Dream does, you know, circle around that area. They seem to have an idea that the smoke should be happening now.
I mean, they are all missing, to be fair. So it's... I guess it is somewhat obvious. And they won't find anybody. Although 1437. That ward will spot him out, and Ohio says, I'll take that one. False promise committed. At the very least now, you know that next team fight, that's not going to be available. Now top lane, they are going to start pushing in, but Arjit is there. And he does start with the Boundless Strike. And apparently my camera really sped up right then, John. But Raven, Echo Slam comes in. They have caught Zephyr on that Earthshaker. Arjit, well, trying to fight this out the best he can. The boat is there as well, but Ohio making a lot of havoc in this team fight. Now Arjit with the Wukong's command, but it's not perfectly placed, and Ohio should just be able to run out of there. And he will do so.
That was the 10-second BKB charge for Arjit, and honestly, he didn't get too much out from that. Really unfortunate.
Ajit,
Jumps in?
he jumps through the trees, but Chuan's found him, and Ajit, well, he's
Oh,
dead.
man.
No
No buyback.
buyback available.
You know, I'm really having a big issue here, Mike, with Moon Meander's itemization. The Heart is not doing anything for his team.
No, it
It's
certainly
it's
is.
really not. He's staying alive. To what effect?
John, I might need a second because my spectator thing's bugged out a bit. Give me 1 sec, guys. Try to fix this ASAP. Well, that's not good. Probably have to restart the game to fix it, but I'll try to spectate as best I can with what I have now. Anyway, John, you were saying.
Yeah, this itemization for Moon is really not helping his team out. I feel like maybe, you know, anything else would have been better than just this raw Heart. Because Nick, his damage doesn't increase. He doesn't really add anything for his team besides staying alive. And at this point, him simply staying alive is really not doing much anymore. Maybe, you know, I wouldn't have faulted him for going for a Dagon. Because right now, they just really want to burst someone down. Dagon and then into that Reaper would be really good. I think this is a game where you really can't fault him for going for that one. But the Heart really just doesn't add anything. I mean, you know, he was probably going to live without it anyway. Now it just means Lotac will focus everyone else and then go to the Necro last.
Zephyr. Fisher is there, top lane. Yamate will be alright throughout all this.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Ohio. Finds Moon Meander. Can he make the jump? He will do so. Chuan is there as well. He'll blink into the back lines and 1437. He's going to die. The global silence was committed for that. Meanwhile, on the back lines, they're looking for Ajit and they will find him, but they won't really go for him. They want Moon Meander throughout all this. So In Your Dream is there with the boat. And now Moon Meander will finally end up dropping. Chuan, meanwhile, tosses the Monkey King back. Ajit gonna try and man-fight this alone, but Ohio jumps forward. Now the Wukongs come out, but the double bottle smash comes out. AU, he's in massive trouble. And now the ES still alive throughout all this, but In Your Dream may end up dropping, and he will. Nice Fisher comes out from Zephyr. And he will end up dropping eventually. It's 4 dead. Ohio, he keeps moving forward. The buyback comes out from Zephyr on that Earthshaker. But it's looking really, really good for Lotac right now.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, it's looking really good. They force a buyback again from Zephyr, and it's really not going to achieve anything. Once again, he dies in the team fight without using Echo Slam. Granted, you know, Lotac's very much aware of the threat of the Echo. They don't stick around too tightly, and whenever there's an opening, when they do stick around, they make sure that Zephyr cannot cast. He's silenced up. He's stunned up. He's controlled very hard, and you know he just can't do anything. Again, I really don't want to just lay on a guy, but you know Moon with his heart, even with that heart, Mike, you saw how fast he died. Not exactly fast, but faster than you'd expect for a hero with a heart.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna need to reconnect to the game. Honestly, I'm gonna need to close and reopen it because it's bugged out. I can't control the camera properly like this throughout team fights. How fast do you reckon I can do this, John?
Reconnect or restart the game.
Restart the game.
Very fast, Mike. Unless you run on a potato.
All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'm sorry about this, but nothing's happening. Be right back. 1 second. All right.
Is it fixed, Mike?
I hope so.
Can you check?
Yeah, it's fixed. Sorry, guys.
All right.
Nothing happened though, did it, John?
Well, we did lose Yamate.
Okay.
That's really it. I mean, it's a silencer, right? It's a position 5. He's supposed to die.
Yeah, my
Fine.
apologies. Sometimes things bug out, John. That's fine. Side of Tigers, they will smoke up. Chuan. And that Shadow Blade, he will actually break it. And takes the bounty. And they'll use the Dust and Fisher and they won't catch him.
Ooh,
Very nice
That's a
play
lot
from
of-
Chuan.
yeah, that's a lot wasted on trying to grab Chuan out, and they still get 3 bounty runes, Mike. At this point in the game, that's a lot of gold.
Certainly is.
They do have a smoke up. It looks like they are going to group up for Lotac, and yeah, there you go.
Lotac now. Can they make something happen? Of course, they've been ahead on now. Moon Meander gets caught out. The Magnetize and Silencers are there, though they will try and jump with Arjit. In fact, no, he hasn't jumped yet. He still stays in the trees with that BKB, and now he's stunned up as well. The tree broke, and Chuan's going to go after him. Arjit, he's gone. The Reaper Scythe is there, though. They caught AU at the very least, but Moon Meander looks very unhealthy throughout all this. And where the hell is In Your Dream? Just nowhere to be seen. The Echo, oh, Zephyr, it wasn't great. And this looks really bad for the Radiant. They're just all going to fall. Ohio picks off 2 of them. In Your Dream is in the tree line, but, I mean, there's not much he can do here. The Wukong's command is up, but, well, now it's not. Ohio moves forward. In Your Dream in massive trouble. This just could be GG well played after this. I don't think he has a buyback available. And he doesn't.
Doesn't.
In fact, we'll bring up the buyback status up.
300 gold away for In Your Dream. Oh. At very least a set of racks, possibly more coming out for Lotac. But it doesn't look like, you know, Tigers still wants to fight. They want to try, make something happen, maybe wait for Moon to at least respawn and then force something out.
Middle barracks has fallen.
Lotac.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom
Taking the bot racks.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Do you think they just rotate to the top as well? Like, there's not really much that can stop them here.
Has fallen.
Honestly, at this point, I'd probably say yes, but Ohio is out of mana. He had to go home, so they're just going to stop at 2 racks. Did I hear a BKB?
Yeah, I haven't quite found it.
I swear I heard a BKB go off.
Oh, there
unless
was a
that
bit.
just-
There was a BKB. I just don't know whose it was. I'll find it, John. Don't you worry.
Was it Raven? Ravens is the only one on cooldown.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think it
guessing
might
it
have been
was.
Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Security escape. Even though I don't think there was any imminent threat, but they take 1 full set of racks and now 2 full sets of racks, and Tigers is pushed back against the wall. I mean, they still have the tools to take something. They just have to execute it a bit tighter, you know. Get a really good Echo Slam from Zephyr. Get a really good setup for Ajit to put out that Wukong's command. I think they can't play reactively. They have to be on the aggressive. Catch out Yamate or wait until Yamate blows that global silence, pull back, regroup, and then go again without that global silence. I think that's their opening. Because right now they're just playing into Lotac's initiation, which has not been working out.
No, it certainly hasn't. Ohio now. Arcane Rune has been picked up and the Roshan is there. Mind you, the side of Tigers, they understand they can't give this Roshan away. But they do back off. They understand they also can't take a team fight very well up against Lotac as it stands right now.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
Shrine will be taken down, of course, prior to the Roshan.
Radiant's top
So this is
shrine
going to make it very hard for the Tigers to react. Like, they've got to get in there now, but it looks like the side of Lotac are ready for this. Arcane Rune will end up wearing off of Ohio, but he is so close to the level 25 mark now. He just needs 1 more level, and that's when the permanent Primal Split is available for the Brewmaster.
Raven. The Arc Warden double just goes ahead and melts. 1437.
It's Speaking of melting, the Roshan also gets melted. Cheese will be given to Raven as well. And this is going to be the team fight of Tiger's life, I think, to win this, to win the next one and defend that top racks. Ohio gets that Octarine core. Again, he probably wants to wait out that level 25 before they engage because, you know, why not have that talent before you go into the last team fight?
Radiant's bottom shrine
Yeah, definitely, but at the same time, I don't know. Waiting that long, level 24 to 25 isn't exactly the smallest amount of XP, Mike. I feel like they might be waiting a bit too long if they just want to wait for Ohio's 25, and they could just make it happen now. Why wait that long? It's not like Ohio will need, you know, 2 really fast primal splits. He's been doing just fine. I don't think the threat from Tigers is that big that he's going to be forced into a situation where the fight's long enough that he needs 2 primal splits.
Bot lane again, that split pushing coming in from Raven.
Radiant are scanning.
That top tower, the only one left to be taken, and they are pinging up that creep wave, so looks like Raven will make his way up and get rid of it. And here comes the push. Ohio, he is at that 25 mark now, so he's happy to go. And just look at the cores of the side of Tigers. They just look so underfarmed right now. They just do not look very healthy at all. And Ohio, he jumps in immediately. Moon Meander's going to be the target. They stun him up. Can they burst him down? The answer is not quite yet. But they will Cyclone up in your dream. So that's one hero out of the fight for the moment. They're chasing 1437 on that Oracle. Meanwhile, Arjit looking for the perfect moment to place that Wukong's command down. And as it stands right now, that isn't the perfect moment quite yet. And Moon Meander, he's going to drop. He has a buyback and he'll use it immediately. The boat also comes in, but it really hits nobody. The first melee racks is gone. Can they get the range racks? Well, Ohio is in the background just making their life a living hell. They might be able to get him though. There's only one Bruling left. And the Reaper Scythe, he is magic immune. It's only for the stun. And Ohio will just walk out of there. And now he can just do it again. And he will do so. Jumps straight back into it. He doesn't actually have the mana. In fact, no, he does. They do end up getting Chuan, it seems. But he has the Aegis. Meanwhile, Raven ripping them apart from the back. And Moon Meander, he might die back here. And it looks like he will. It looks like it is the Dyer's game to be given away. And it won't be. 1437. He calls GG well played. And Lotac, after 3 games, will take it. And they will progress throughout the playoffs. And unfortunately, Tigers will be forced to exit out early, but I mean, John, look, they put on a great show. They made it through all the way to the open qualifiers to get here. I think they should still be pretty happy with themselves. So it's definitely nothing to sneeze at. And I look forward to seeing them in the next qualifiers, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. So I think this team just definitely needs some time to gel together. Again, they're fairly freshly formed. You know, there's only so much you can do when you're just freshly formed. A lot more stacks in Southeast Asia have been playing with each other for a while. Maybe not in the same kind of roster, but they're all kind of familiar with each other. They know how each one of them kind of plays, and that definitely showed here. I mean, you know, Lotac just came out the better team, Mike.
Yeah,
good show from Tigers, but you know, Lotac gets to move on to the next round of lower bracket, Mike.
Oh, absolutely. Well, John, that's it for us for today, and unfortunately, I believe that's it for us for the whole qualifier. So we should say our goodbyes to the chat. John, any final words?
You know, I hope you guys had fun. The banter